A new Fox 5 investigation will be the topic of discussion at a city council hearing next month. We're talking traffic tickets. As you know, tickets are big business in D.C.
Yeah, from parking tickets to speed, red light cameras. It's almost $200 million a year for the city. Now it appears D.C. is trying to raise even more money by digging into a driver's past. Chief investigative reporter Emily Miller has that story. Hey, Emily.
Thanks, Scott. Well, when you get a ticket in the mail or on your windshield or from a police officer and you think you're innocent, you take it to traffic court. But what if the DMV hands you a ticket from 30 years ago? Can you remember what you were doing in 1985? Come on. Do you remember what happened in 1985?
These were golden years.
The Soviet Union was our biggest threat. #1 rated TV show.
She's sitting there blaming me. Daddy!
Amadeus won the Oscar for Best Picture, but Sally Field stole the show.
You like me.
The biggest blockbuster of the year was Back to the Future.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
The movie predicted that cars would fly in 2015. Well, we're still driving our cars on streets, which means we still get tickets. But we usually know about them. Lifelong D.C. resident Sherry Freeman went back to the future at the DMV recently. She went to renew her car registration, and the clerk told her she first had to pay a $100 ticket.
The year was February 6, 1985. I looked at the clerk and said, "That's 30 years. Are you serious? How would I know if this is really my ticket or if it hasn't been paid or not?" So she said I had to pay the ticket.
The DMV says it doesn't keep copies of tickets from the 80s and 90s. All Sherry knows is it was a moving violation for disobeying a traffic device. Sherry had no choice. She paid the ticket, then paid to re-register her car.
I left dumbfounded about the whole thing, and I was thinking about, the things that happened over the 30-year span of this ticket. I've had a second child during that 30-year period. I've had 3 grandchildren. I started my federal government career. Probably have gone through 6 boyfriends or something.
They should have told her something more in detail about what it was to give her an opportunity to think, was that really my car?
City Council member Mary Cheh oversees parking issues as chair of the Transportation Committee.
A few years ago, we created this unit in the Chief Financial Office, a collections unit, to go back and collect the money that people have owed us, sometimes for years. As I said, 30 years, I hadn't heard of that one.
I've renewed registration on a car every year, and I've never been told that I had an outstanding ticket from 1985.
DC has what's called a clean hands law. You can't re-register your car without paying all of your tickets. But the DMV said that in Sherry's case, it just surfaced now because they haven't fully connected the registration and the tickets. Well, the City Council was not happy to hear that.
We need to check on that because that was supposed to be the hook to get people who owed tickets to pay them.
Well, Chase staff did check on it. And in fact, the DMV isn't doing what the City Council wants, coordinating all of the tickets to the car registrations. Chey is going to ask the DMV about it at an oversight hearing on March 4th. But the bigger picture is fairness. There's no statute of limitation on tickets because that might encourage people to cheat. But that's not Sherry.
I've always paid my parking tickets.
You don't even know if you actually got this ticket.
And that's the sad thing about it. I don't know if the ticket is really mine.
In fact, the DC Inspector General released a big report in September on DC's parking and traffic tickets. It said the public is frustrated because the system seems to be that you are guilty unless you can prove yourself innocent. And that's exactly what Sherry said.
The burden is always on the citizen, it's not on DC government. So you just don't stand a chance when you come down here.
Sherry's got a point. Until our cars can fly and there are no more tickets, we're all stuck in the past.
Well, the DMV said that Sherry took this ticket to traffic court and lost. But they said she did that in 1998, 3 years after the ticket was issued. Sherry says she doesn't remember any of this. Well, Sherry had no choice but to pay that 30-year-old ticket. But the DMV tells you they have uncovered a old ticket of yours and you don't remember having it. Let me know. You can call us at 895-202-895-3000 or email us fox5tips@wttg.com.
Great piece, and that is that's just wild. I don't know how you could ever contest a ticket like that, one that you probably wouldn't remember 2 years ago, let alone 30 years ago.
It seems like there should be a limit, like 7 years or something like that. I mean, that's just
Well, that's what Sherry said to me when I was doing the interview. She said, if I'd kidnapped someone, I would have exalted the statute of
Right,
limitations.
That's right. There's something
But if
just-
traffic tickets, they go on, and Mary Chase says, well, we don't want people waiting them out and then not paying them. Understandable, but like you said, 30 years, what are you going to bring up? Like, we didn't even have phones, iPhones back then.
Right.
You had no evidence.
Right. And it does, you know, in the district, a lot of it does, as that report said, you know, you're presumed guilty, you know, unless you prove that you're innocent.
Yeah,
which is
people, that's why they
backwards.
say they don't go back down and fight these things and think, I'm going to lose no matter what.
Yeah.
And my guess is if we got the Back to the Future flying cars, they'd still find a way to get it.
They would. DC would. That is so true.
Find a way.
Toss the ticket.
That ticket on that car. All right, thank you, Emily.